Good morning. You're almost halfway through your week. How great is that? And to celebrate, let's go to a book I don't think we've gone to yet. In the 27 weeks, the 27 weeks of coffee together. Been a lot of coffee. I like dark roast. I don't know about you. Anyway, Hosea chapter 14. Hosea 14. Book of Hosea. Minor Old Testament prophet, right? Like I said, I don't think we've been there yet. So this chapter is the people, verses 1 through 3, pleading for repentance, forgiveness, for the wrongs that they have done to God, right? Often in the Old Testament, it's kind of, it's portrayed as bride and groom, but we'll say loving partners. And this idea that Israel, the people of God, have not been a faithful partner to God in the covenants that they made, right? The same kind of parallel language with marriage. God has upheld God's end of the bargain, so to speak, right? God delivered the people out of Egypt. God gave them the laws. God has supported them through all these trials, given them the promised land. Go through the list, all these things, covenants, promises, pulling through lots of bad situations, okay? Meanwhile, the people are supposed to, worship God, be in communion with God, and abiding, etc. Not communion as we have it, but the Old Testament version of communion. But the people haven't. They've turned away. They've gone to idols, etc., etc. They've stopped following God's laws, and actually, that's where it ended up worse for them. God's laws are there for a reason, and so we now have this passage. So the people plead for forgiveness, and God answers in verse 4. I will heal their disloyalty. I will love them freely, for my anger has turned from them. And it goes on to go through these great poetic prose, ending with those who are wise understand these things, those who are discerning know them. For the ways of the Lord are right. The upright walk in them, but transgressors stumble in them. We'll hear that again in the New Testament. But anyway, this is God models forgiveness here in the book of Hosea. How neat is that, right? So we have God playing the part of the forgiver, and Israel being the ones who are forgiven. I'm back. Computer died. Forgot to plug it in. Anyway, and so, I hope you'll forgive the edit. Anyway, we're talking about power of forgiveness. And so in the book of Isaiah, God models this forgiveness, right? And so, yet again, if you haven't gotten this drift from me, this whole popular pop theology out there that God is angry and mad and stern all the time in the Old Testament. Here's a perfect example. It's not true. The people of God have continually messed up despite everything that God's done for them. And yet God continues to forgive them and offer them goodness and grace. This is the kind of measure that Jesus commands us to reach out with as well. So, I hope you have a fruitful day, knowing that you live with a God who abides in you, who forgives you and grants you grace unconditionally.